speaking of having their day, the Detroit Lions defense, they have been having their day. They have gone 10 straight quarters now without allowing a defensive touchdown. And when you look at the defense, they are riddled with injuries, but they keep on stepping up and they keep performing. I have been deemed one of the biggest Detroit Lions haters out there for whatever reason. I've been talking pretty good about you all the last few weeks, but whatever. It is what it is. So we got to ask the question. Is it time to give the Detroit Lions defense their flowers? Is it time to praise how great the Detroit Lions defense actually is? When you go 10 straight quarters without allowing a defensive touchdown in the NFL, that is pretty damn good. Let's just be honest. It's pretty good. I don't care if it was against the Colts. I don't care if it was against the Jaguars. I don't care if it was the second half versus the Houston Texans. It's still the NFL. You're still battling each and every week. That is to say that even when you're winning 50-0, or what was the Jaguars score? 56-6. And you put in the backups in, and you take the foot off the gas like a little bit. That means the second and third string players are still balling out, still keeping them out of the end zone. That's pretty damn good. Pretty good. Let's just be honest. Aaron Glenn has that defense playing very, very well right now, if not great. It has been next man up for the Detroit Lions all season long. They keep plugging and playing guys. Alex goes down, plug in a guy. Hutch goes down, plug in a guy. Carlton goes down, plug in a guy. It's been plug and play for the Detroit Lions defense all season long. Hell, the last few games alone, they've only given up 14 points to the Packers, a really good Packers team. 14 points to the Tennessee Titans. A lot of those points were in mop-up duty, let's just be honest. They shut out the Houston Texans in the second half. And just 6 points to the Jaguars and Colts. They have been balling out, and they currently have 11 guys on IR. Not on the whole team, just on the defense. On the defense alone, 11 guys on the IR. Then you have to add Carlton Davis, the third. He is now injured. He's questionable moving forward. Terrion Arnold probably won't play against the Chicago Bears. He is out as of right now. Actually, we just checked it again. He's questionable now, right? Probably not going to play Thursday versus the Chicago Bears. This Lions defense has been thriving off a great pass rush earlier this season. Earlier this season, they had one of the best pass rushes in the NFL. When just your front four can get pressure on the quarterback play after play, the back seven, it's easy to play defense. Let's just be honest. Now, obviously, week 6 came. Hutch goes down. Over half of their pass rush goes down in one swoop of a mop-up duty play. Week 7, the pass rush struggled a little bit in the first quarter, if not the first half. But then the second half, they come out, they started to blitz 30% more, and they got that pressure, and then they won that game versus the Minnesota Vikings. The last 6, 7, 8 weeks, they've been mixing in the blitz pretty good to give the secondary a little time. A little time to coverage and do their thing, right? The secondary is clicking, but let's just be honest, guys. The injuries keep adding up, and they may not be able to overcome them. As great as the Detroit Lions defense has been all season, 11 people on IR, 2 more people questionable, 2 more starters questionable for Thursday's game. At some point, injuries are going to overcome this great defense. Aaron Glenn has built a great plug and play system. And I will give the Detroit Lions their flowers right now. They are balling. Their defense is top notch right now. 10 straight quarters without a touchdown. Good Lord. Did the 2000 Ravens even do that? This defense is balling. But guys, the question that I want to ask you guys, are you legitimately worried about injuries? I understand. In Detroit, in the Motor City, in the biting of the kneecaps, in the grit nation, it's always been next man up. But you're running out of guys. You're running out of healthiness. You are running out of grit. Sandpaper's getting a little dull. It's gone from 10 10 grit to about 100 grit, right? That's fine saying it now. As a Detroit Lions fan, are you guys worried about the injuries? That is the question that I legitimately want to ask. Are you worried about injuries moving forward? Yes or no? Let's see what you guys have to say about that. James Frank. What's up, James Frank? Mr. Cleveland Browns fan himself. He said the Lions defense is tough. No TDs allowed in 2 straight games. They've been balling, James. And James, you know about great defenses coming from the AFC North. Granted, nobody in the AFC North besides the Steelers are playing defense right now, but history shows that, hey, there's been some good defenses there, and James knows all about it. And John says, nope, not until you raise the Lombardi trophy. So John says the Detroit Lions can be playing their great defense all they want. We can praise them all they want. But let's just be honest, it means shit until you raise the Lombardi. And John, you are right. What is every team's goal is to raise that championship at the end of the season. I don't care if you've been a top 10 defense the last 3 weeks. The best defense in the last 3 weeks. It doesn't matter. Do it for me in February. Do it for me in February. And Jay says it's probably going to be 14 quarters in a row after they beat the Chicago Bears on Thursday, baby. Probably. And Jay, let me take it one step further. The Chicago Bears, very first drive of the game, they're going to get the ball. They're going to receive it. They're going to have a pretty good kickoff return, let's say to the 40. Caleb Williams is going to throw a little screen pass to DJ Moore, push the ball down the field, maybe 20, 30 yards, setting it up for a 1st and 10 at the 40. They're going to nickel and dime with some Swift. Swift should be back. Nickel and diamond with him down the field a little bit. And then they're going to get the ball about the 15-ish, right? Caleb Williams is going to throw let's say an out route to Rome. He's going to get it down to the 2. He's going to reach for it. He's going to be short. Very next play, they're going to forget that they have a running back. They are going to forget they have DJ Moore on the outside. They are going to try to do a little tight end dump to Cole Kmet. And it's going to be a pick 6, 108 yards, untouched the other way, and it's going to be at the beginning of the end. Wouldn't that be something? James Frank asked the question, will Aaron Glenn stay with the Lions next year, or will he be a head coach? James, we spoke on this a few weeks ago, and I think Aaron Glenn will end up somewhere like New Orleans, somewhere there will. So let's preface this by saying that if Aaron Glenn wants to go somewhere, wants to be a head coach, he will get a head coaching job somewhere, somehow. A team will find a spot for him if he says, yes, I want to be your head coach. A team will hire him. Now, I understand that people have been throwing out this, I believe it's been Jay, Fords have a lot of money. Fords do have a lot of money. I work for Ford. They are consistently pushing pennies on their motor side of company, but they're buying up a lot of stuff, a lot of real estate in Detroit. They got money. And if Aaron Glenn just says, hey, I want $30 million to stay, they're like, oh, if you're going to win a Super Bowl, cool, whatever. Just take our money and shut up. But if Aaron Glenn wants to be a head coach somewhere, he will get a head coaching job, because the Houston Texans and the Detroit Lions have kind of laid down this foundation of ex-players coaching for their teams, right? Really turning things around. I think Aaron Glenn will definitely have an opportunity to coach head coach somewhere if he wants to. And Jay right there says never underestimate that Ford money. Exactly, never underestimate it. John says, y'all smell that Kansas City seasoning of hate? I don't think I hate. Where did I hate on the Detroit Lions? I spoke all facts, John. The facts are you guys are injured. 11 guys on IR. 2 more guys that are injured. You are injured. You have 13 guys that could potentially miss the game versus the Chicago Bears on Sunday. 13. The facts are at some point you're just going to run out of guys. It is what it is. How is that hate? That is just facts. Josh Olson says, in your honest opinion, who do you think is a better team? The 2019 Niners when they went to the Super Bowl or the 2024 Detroit Lions? I'm trying to think of who the quarterback was for the San Francisco 49ers that particular season. Was that Jimmy G? I have more faith in the Detroit Lions coaching staff to not shit the bed in the playoffs than the San Francisco 49ers. The reason why the Niners lost that Super Bowl to the Kansas City Chiefs was because they abandoned everything that they were doing in that game. They were legit running all over the Kansas City Chiefs in that game. The Kansas City Chiefs hit a couple big plays back to back, and they're like, oh, we're in a shootout now. We got to totally change everything. I don't think that Ben Johnson, Aaron, and that coaching staff that Dan Campbell has put together would never do that. I think head-to-head, the Detroit Lions are better. They would be a wash on the offensive side of the ball. Receiver-wise, tight end-wise, the only thing I question would be offensive line. I know Penny Sewell has been playing out of his mind, but he's been playing way up here. When he comes back down here where he belongs, is that offensive line as good as the 49ers line? I would say the Detroit Lions are better than the San Francisco 49ers back in 2019, mainly because of the coaching, right? Coaching is a big deal for the Detroit Lions. They have a risk it, no biscuit type of mindset, and Dan Campbell has shown that he is not going to deviate from that, right? He is who he is, and he is going to stick to that. How are they doing on the penalty with the new guys? I'm not for sure what you're talking about there, Derek. And John says, hush about breaking up the band. Like I said it before, maybe just maybe some people don't want to be head coaches, right? I knew back when I started coaching 10, 11 years ago, right, that I wanted to be a head coach. That was my goal, and that's what I worked up towards each and every day, was to become the best head coach that I could possibly be. On my way up, I had a great guy by my side. His name was Jamie Polk, defensive coordinator. Still to this day, one of the best football minds that I've ever met. He was perfectly happy being a high school defensive coordinator. That's what he wanted to do. He had no dreams of being a head coach. He had no dreams of being a college coach. He had no dreams of being a middle school coach or whatever. High school defensive coordinator is what he wanted to be. And some people just don't have the desire to be a head coach. So maybe not. I don't know. John Switcher says, Myles Garrett does a whole lot of boasting for a guy that's been in the league for 7 years, but only has had 2 winning seasons. Impactor? Game changer? Obviously not that much. Can't put the team on his back. I agree, John. I agree. My man, WB Ant's in the chat. What's up, WB Ant? And Derek says, the new guy staying flag-free shows coaching is work. New guys stay flag-free show. What? I don't know. I don't know what you're saying. But speaking of coaching,